Our natural world is in crisis. Join the conversation today.
So when we look at flow, we looked at flow from, let's say a few different ways we've thought about the word flow. The one was obviously the occupants of that home.
Mm-hmm.
We would want that flow to have a value to it that maybe we can't prescribe specifically because we don't know exactly who that owner is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So we're guessing a little bit. So if we imagined ourselves as being the person living in that space, how would that be?
Mm-hmm.
And by that I mean how would it feel? How would it be comfort-wise? How would it create what we think of it? Would it satisfy our values that we apply to a residence, to a home? Would it satisfy those those values?
Mm.
So would there be a great sense of entry? What would that feel like? Would that be formal and processional? And very specific. You come here and you stop and you go through and there's another and processional and you've got options or would it be more organic?
Mm-hmm.
And we spent a lot of time actually on the difference between grid and organism. So if you like a grid, plans are one thing, but when you look organically at things and how nature does things, it's not a grid, right? There's a whole other way, and look how well nature works. So,
biomimesis, biophilia, like those are terms that that I've heard thrown around a lot in the green building and the sustainable architecture space. I mean, even down to what we've talked in some of our podcasts about color, and I mean, you're talking more shape, but color
mm-hmm.
and texture, and I mean, all of these different senses. That we have as human beings.
Yeah, exactly. We actually superimposed both. We actually attempted to integrate the two different ways of looking at it.
Very cool.
So if you look at just imagine the circle and the plus sign in your mind, and you put them together, and then you imagine you're doing this entirely through a 2,000 square foot floor plan that is mimicked up and mimicked down. So you've got vertical as well, that nature to work with too. But you look at how those two work with each other. So the sense of that house was really attempting to have a degree to which it looked contextually appropriate for its neighborhood, for its environment and its scale. That you had a certain amount of procession and feeling of I'm going through a gate and I'm stepping up and I'm turning and I'm coming to the door. But as you did that and you went through, and Ian, you've seen these plans, so I don't have to tell you in detail.
Yeah, exactly.
The sense of being able, the feeling to be able to flow off into the kitchen and from the kitchen straight out, or not straight, but let's say organically. Out into the patio, into that interior courtyard, and up to the spa and back through the rear. And so all of the flow was thought of not with like straight lines. All the flow was thought of as, branches of a tree and that kind of thing.
Building the future, green building in the new millennium, brought to you by Sustainable Homes of the Future. Join in.